Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Good. Excellent. That's the spirit. Good to hear, Tom. All right. Welcome to Morning Startup. Who hasn't been here before? All right. For the one person in the audience that hasn't been to Morning Startup before, my name is Scott Glug. I'm one of the organisers, usually here with Dave Newman. And Gus, do you want to do an intro? Oh, come on. Just set up the chairs and pull them down again. All right, fair enough. So anyway, we run this every 2 weeks, rain, hail or shine. We talk about startup stuff. We try and get an interesting speaker to educate us on something that we go through every day. But today, and every 2 or 3 months or 4 months, depending, we do a pitch event. So we get 6 startups that we've got today, and they're going to do their 3-minute pitch. 3 minutes prevents waffling, all of that stuff. It makes you condense your message down as clearly as possible. We'll clap you out at the 3-minute mark, and then we'll open up to the audience for some Q&A and some feedback on the pitch as well. So while you're listening to these pitches, sort of gather your ideas, do I get it? All of that sort of stuff, and ask any questions that will clarify that. Pretend that you've got like $100,000 and you have to invest in one of these startups. What's going to get you over the line to actually part with your hard-earned money and give it to one of these startups? Anyway, before we get into the pitches, just a few things we want to go through. So we like to start with shameless plugs and announcements. If anyone that isn't pitching today would like to share what they're working on in sort of 30 seconds or less. No? No one? Hey, all right. We've got a startup veteran.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name's Ian. I ran a startup called Hum. Came out of Perth, went to San Francisco, still live there. I wanted to come and tell that one of my good friends is in town at the moment. His name's Rory Gunsmith, and he's got a startup called Checkmate with nearly 2 million users in 2 years and 20 million raised from Google Ventures. And I've got him to come and give a talk at UWA tomorrow night. So if anyone wants to come and hear him talk about how to scale a startup really fast, that's where you would find out about it. I'll be here.
How do you find out about it? How do you sign up?
Probably just talk to me and then I'll give you a link. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I'm playing single parent at the moment. So, Cool. Anyone else wants to do a pitch? No? Not a pitch, but just a shameless plug. All right, fine, we'll move on. Founder Sundowner, we do this every month. First Wednesday of every month. Get along to Nowhere Man Brewing, soon to be Other Side Brewing, and come along and have some casual drinks and chats and pizzas with startup folk. You would have noticed awesome camera equipment at the back, so we're live streaming these events, so you don't have to get here, but it's good to see you if you can. You get to network with everyone while you're in the room, but if for whatever reason you can't make it, just roll out of bed, hit the perthvideo.com live stream and check this out. And that's thanks to the New Industries Fund from the Department of Tce, Jobs, Tourism, Science and Innovation. They do a whole range of things. They give startups money, like the Innovation Booster Grant. You can get $40,000 by submitting an application. They do the new ones, the Commercialisation something grant, where if you're a scale-up... Commercialisation Bridge Grant. CBGs. So I think that's up to $200,000 if you're in the scale-up space. So hit them up, and if you're an investor, they've got the Waves funding as well to help you out there. So a whole load of cool stuff that they're doing for the innovation space in WA, including live streaming Morning Startup through the amazing folks at perthvideo.com.au. So if you hit that /Morning Startup Perth with hyphens, you'll get to our live stream page, and you can see all of our past events as well. All right, but Ammo Marketing, they've been helping us out since the pandemic when we had to go online and pay for those expensive Zoom fees. They're awesome. If you need some help with growth marketing, check them out. They also have a podcast called Weird Growth, where it's interviews with amazing folks like Ian, who was just on the last one. I listened to that a couple of days ago, really, really cool. So if you want to hear Ian's amazing hum story, which, by the way, he'll be telling at a Morning Startup in May, so that'll be great. It's grueling. Okay, and the Beecham Group. So Glenn's not here, I don't think, but they're a boutique recruitment company in Perth. If you need talent, or you have talent and you need a gig with a cool startup or a tech company, hit up Glenn at Beecham Group. And Keep Space. We do have some food at the back there, and that's thanks to these guys. Is anyone in e-commerce, shipping things around the world, shipping things around Australia? Good, no one. Oh, okay, cool. So if you are 3PL is sort of your thing, they've got a warehouse in Perth and a warehouse in Melbourne. They've got a really cool platform to help you manage all of your inventory and all that stuff. So, and they're a local Perth startup, so get around Keep Space. And they've been really, really supportive. And TechOn, where's Matt? There he is. And there he is. I was very tempted to put a moustache or something on you last night when I was going through the deck. Who needs developers? Come on, surely a lot of you need developers. They have some really, really cost-effective, awesome developers. They're based in Nepal, but it's all managed here out of Perth. And I've used them, Dave's used them. They've done my website, React, all of that sort of stuff. Get around TechOn. And thanks for the coffees. So go to Joey Zaz's if you don't have a coffee already and tell them you're at Morning Startup. And Matt and the guys at TechOn have the bill. Thank you very much. These amazing folks, so Space Cubed, this place is owned by Space Cubed here in Riff at the moment. They've got Flux and Fern down the road as well, and places popping up all over the world now. Make sure you subscribe to Startup News if you're new to the startup space in Perth. That's sort of your best place for what's happening in startup world in WA. Also make sure you're a member of Startup WA. Just head to startupwa.com.au, whatever it is, do a Google, and become a member. It's 100% free. They're sort of our body for government. So all of that cool stuff from the New Industries Fund, that's probably most likely on the back of what Startup WA has been poking the government to do. So get around Startup WA and they'll at least send you their monthly newsletter, and they have events and all that stuff. So good organisation to be around. If you want to become a better entrepreneur, check out the Plus 8 program. They have a cool accelerator that you can apply to, and they'll give you funding and take you around the world and all of that sort of stuff. They also have another program called Sprint, where you can sort of pay a bit of money and they'll take you through a program to become an awesome entrepreneur and do all your validation and all those things that you should be doing. And TechBoard, go there and sort of claim your company profile. They've been around for ages, since we've been doing Morning Startup. And they have an investor-heavy focused audience, so yeah, good thing to claim your profile and put announcements on there. We're always looking for cool speakers. If you are interested in doing a talk one day, you've got some knowledge that you'd love to share that's on point for startups. We're pretty picky. We don't put anyone up here. But hit us up. contact@morningstartup.com. Send us an email or just search Morning Startup. We're on all the things. And get in touch. Oh, and at least go and follow us on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's probably the best one. That's where we tend to do stuff. And Instagram. All the things. All right, as we said, we do this every 2 weeks. This is huge. This is the one in 2 weeks' time. This is the Innovator of the Year 2024 launch. These guys usually do this in a fancy ballroom and invite only, and it's a whole thing. So we've got the Minister, we've got Fiona Wood, and we've got some amazing Innovators of the Year coming along, and they'll be doing a panel and some talks and launching the program for 2024 in 2 weeks' time. I just went into Meetup and hit the announce button, and I saw the RSVPs was already at 100, which was sort of the announcement. So we're now on a wait list of 20 or so people. So we'll see. Come along and yeah, hopefully you can get some room at the back or something and go and check it out. It's in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, whatever date that is, on the Wednesday. 24th? Awesome. All right, and that is formalities out of the way. Can I get the one new person to laugh at that? Because thank you. Cool. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into the pitches. So, I'm going to have to wrangle my computer. Let's get out of there. All right. I don't know if you can see this. This is the pictures we got today. Smart Deal Poker, SpaceSync, Edible Cutlery, EnjoyYourMine, Legacy Technologies. Do we have Legacy Technologies here? I haven't seen them in the room. No? All right, we'll see if they come in later on. And DirectYourWay. Is DirectYourWay here? Vitold. Ah, excellent. Cool. All right, so let's start with Smart Deal Poker. We are welcoming Phillipp. So just a reminder, you've got 3 minutes. Gus, do you want to be our timekeeper?
Absolutely.
All right, so you'll start the clapping, then we'll all join in at the 3 minute mark. Let's, I'll give the mic to you. Give a click to
Hello,
you.
hello.
Don't start yet. Let's get this going. What is it, PowerPoint? Cool. Does that work? All right, the time starts now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Phillipp Correia. I'm co-founder and CEO of Smart Deal Poker. Our mission is to enhance live poker experience. I hope this becomes like more reasonable after the presentation. I don't think it's like new for everyone that the market size for poker online specifically is huge, right? So it was estimated around $100 billion last year. But out of this slide, I would like to get your attention for 2 main points. So even though poker has some gambling aspects associated to it, you can see here to this chart that the gambling enthusiasts is the minority. There are many social players out there. Another number that I would like to share with you guys is about the over 100 million people engaged with poker in some form. So keep those numbers in mind. Here is just extract of the top 5 poker sites with real money in terms of players online. So as you can see here, a snapshot from April 1st gives us 600K of people online. So there's a huge opportunity here, and I'll tell you guys which one. If there are 100 million players around the world engaged with poker with some form, and only 600K playing real money poker online, where else they are playing? So I tell you, so social poker apps, like which it's not related to real poker money, live poker events, so you have World Series of Poker, many things like you can see on TV channels, and you have poker home games. And where is the opportunity here? Definitely at poker home games, because there is no technology associated to it to improve the live poker experience. So what's the problem? Trust me, even me, that's a poker fan, to play home games with my friends is kind of a struggle. So you need to shuffle and deal the cards, you need chip management, you need to do all this stuff. So the most common complaints is slow play, incorrect or inconsistent or incorrect dealers, rules dispute, people don't know the rules, and so on. So it's a huge struggle to do that. And this is like how it usually occurs. What's the solution? we introduced here the Smart Dealer Poker, which is an app, multi-platform, iOS and Android, that you can put a tablet in the middle of the table, you can mirror the table on the TV or laptop, and the players perform the actions on their cell phone. And what's the main difference here? The cards are being dealt face down, and in order for you to pick, you just slide your finger. So it's much more efficient dealing and gameplay, faster gameplay, rules enforcement, so on. Where we at now? We have launched a couple months ago the MVP, so everyone can test. I have some flyers back in there, so we can scan the QR code and download.
Thank you, Phillipp. All right, stay there. I will hold on to that mic. I'll do a roving mic. All right. Did anyone think of any questions or feedback while Phillipp was pitching there?
Maybe because
Just for the live feed.
because we only have 3 minutes, I would say you maybe don't have to go too deep into details like all the numbers and stuff like that, and try to go until the end of the pitch. But otherwise, I reckon the tone was good and speed was pretty good as well.
Yeah, cool. I'd probably double that. Like maybe start with the problem and the solution, and then I think you started with the market size and all of that stuff, which you kind of want to be thinking about your solution when you're thinking about the market size.
Yep.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Hi, thanks for the pitch. Curious about the money management strategies that you put into. You said obviously gambling, money management is a bit of an issue. How do you manage that with your app?
Yeah, so in the differentiation, we have the freemium and pay-per-use. So our differentiation, we are social experience over gambling. So we are not going to sell in-app purchase or chips. So the way that we are going to do that was they are the business model here. So we have the freemium, so you can host any game for free for up to 3 players. And if you want to host for up to 10 players, you pay just a regular fee of $4.99. I don't care if you spend $10, $100,000, because I don't want to get any fee of those money management outside. However, this unlocks a completely new world, right, in terms of live data and management, because we send an email saying that this person needs to transfer this amount to that person. So there are some of money management within the app, but we don't charge fees. We don't have money transaction around it. So pretty much this is the business model. So that's why we differentiate ourselves to the others.
Anyone else? You had an MVP that's launched.
Yes.
Do you have a traction?
So we have around 100 stalls, just word of mouth. We didn't heavily advertise yet because we just deployed to the cloud, so it was running the server locally. But yeah, so we just started our social media yesterday. So yeah, picking up.
Okay.
Our main focus is acquire new users, iterate upon feedback, and official out in the upcoming months. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be good info to put in the slide deck. It's just a traction slide, the 100 downloads already. That's key.
Hey, great presentation. I would just like to understand why I'd be paying $5 for 24 hours, not $1 for a month.
Okay, so this is the way for us to monetize all the players, right? So the host pays $5 or something to create a limited game for the next 24 hours. So you get together with your friends, you pay only once, and you can create unlimited games for 24 hours. However, it's only paid once, right? So the host pays that. The subscription is related to all the poker players around the table. So if you're playing with 10 people, they play subscription for premium features. So our way to monetize the entire table is the players can get premium features such as get the hand strength, check the statistics, share the leaderboard. So more features for the player individually, but you pay just once. And just in terms of this price, usually if you have a professional poker dealer to come to your home games, which is similar, they charge at least $30 an hour to shuffle and deal cards for you privately. So it's there is an upside there to have this efficient. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions, feedback? So we'll just a reminder, we'll have half an hour of networking at the end, so you can come and chat to Phillipp after and give him some feedback. You got a Call to action here? Yes. Who needs a poker dealer? Get on it. All right, thank you very much, Philip. All right, so next up we have SpaceSync, François and Tom. Let's go, let's make that 10 times as big. All right, give him a round of applause, go on.
Oh, no.
Sweet. Cool. And your time starts now.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming today. My name is François, this is Tom, and we're going to present SpaceSync. So this is the team. Nick, Tom, and myself co-founded SpaceSync a year ago, and we've got Charlotte that joined the team recently as a marketing officer. So, do you know how long and painful is the onboarding process to get a pop-up space in the shopping centres around Perth? Well, we do, because we've been through this process last year when we were trying to organise a daily activity in one of the major shopping centres around here. Each shopping centre is managed by different leasing teams, meaning that there is a different application process for each of these shopping centres. And we found out that not only the onboarding process was long, but there were also a lot of vacancies among shopping centres, resulting in a loss of revenue for landlords. The reason is because leasing teams are struggling to find quality retailers to ensure full occupancy of the space. So our solution, we are providing those leasing teams with a digital portfolio containing hundreds of retailers' profile. So leasing teams won't have to wait for booking requests, but can also search and select the next retailers to fill in the space. On the other end, the retailers will be able to can avoid the repetitive process of filling out forms and providing exact same documents and information to each different leasing teams when they're applying for space, by simply creating an online profile specially designed for leasing application.
Cool, so what does this mean? So it makes it more convenient for leasing teams. Each retailer profile includes all the business information and all the documentation required for them to book a space. Then we compared the current booking process to our solution and realized that with SpaceSync, there are 50% less emails exchanged between all parties. And finally, with our verified portfolio, leasing teams will be able to invite retailers instead of waiting for them to come book a space. Now, this is what the current onboarding process looks like with SpaceSync. Retailers will go through a single application and then will be able to apply to any desired location that they would want. And all this happens within 1 to 2 days. So what's up next for SpaceSync? Well, we recently we'll be attending the +8 bootcamp, and we're also approaching leasing teams right now with our solution and presenting it to them. We would like to thank you all for listening to our pitch.
On time.
3 minutes.
Very, very good. Okay, does anyone have any feedback questions? Huh?
Thanks, gents. That was very good. I was just wondering what your commercial model is. Who's paying you? Where does the money come from?
So we don't want to make the retailers paying for now. So we want to charge the leasing teams subscription fee to access the database. So we haven't decided how much it would cost, but we are looking at how much they would save by using the app, and then we're going to charge them monthly or quarterly, depending on the size of the shopping centers as well.
How are you developing the app?
So
We've got our third co-founder, Nick, and he's in charge of the whole back end of the system, so he's coding the platform.
What's Nick's background?
So he dropped out from uni because he's too good for uni. So he's a full stack developer. He's already working part-time for another job. He's he's been learning the coding by himself. And we also have 2 more members that recently joined the team. They're not on the slides, but they are also, 2 of them are studying at Curtin, and Nick is teaching them how to code in Node.js and React.js as well.
Just as a bit of feedback on the actual pitch, great pitch. I'd recommend asking for something. So if you want to contacts in the shopping centres, or if you're looking for money, or if you've got an opportunity now to ask for something, you may as well.
So we're looking for contact in shopping centres.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Done. Awesome. Any other feedback, questions? All right.
Why do you care so much about this? What made you really want to do this?
Question. No. Well, last year we were kind of a retailer selling sports goods, and we when we saw the process, we're like, what the fuck is this? Because if you are on Airbnb, you're not gonna create an account every time you're booking a different accommodation. So why would you create a different account going through a different process, which is exactly the same process? They're asking the same question. They're asking for the ABN, what you're selling, insurance documents, all of that, but just different people asking them. So we just want to centralize this onboarding process, so retailers don't have to be afraid of or be bored of going through a different process if they can just do it only one time and then apply to all the different space around. And also, some retailers are based in Perth, but sometimes they extend to the East Coast, and they won't be able to know what shopping centres are available on the East Coast and how to contact those leasing teams. So if we expand on the East Coast, we'll be able to tell the retailers from Perth, hey, if you want, there's a nice space on the East Coast as well, and you might save a bit of money on this, and this might fit your brand as well.
So just to confirm, you guys were doing a pop-up shop and you found this problem?
Yeah, we wanted to, there was a daily activities. We're trying to create like a paddle party. This is like a tennis sports. We're trying to.
I'll probably tell that story. Like, say we were doing this paddle thing, and it was a pain in the ass to do this, that, and the other. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so we actually had startup before creating this one, and the reason why we just dropped that idea was because it was just so painful, and we're like, okay, let's stop it.
Because that would really, I think, answer Ian's question. Like, why you guys? Why are you so passionate about doing this? Yeah.
So you got a question?
The problem that you've identified here sounds very similar to real estate applications for individuals, because I've gone through the whole works for countless rentals, and they have a system called OneForm that they kind of force on people, but it's absolute crap. This sounds like a much more seamless kind of solution to that. Have you thought about potentially expanding to commercial real estate or residential real estate? Sorry.
Yeah, so we currently focusing on the shopping centres because there's a larger amount of space at the same place. Like Carousel's got 44 spaces, for example, but we're also considering going to events, markets, public spaces, because the council is trying to activate some spaces as well, so we could try to one day advertise their space and tell the retailers that we have on the platform, hey, there's a nice space available around the corner over there in Vic Park, for example, and the real estates as well, providing them with retailers. Instead of just advertising space, we wanted to advertise retailers.
But yes, that we actually didn't think about the whole crisis, the housing market and all that. So that's actually a really good point. Thanks for bringing it up.
All right. Well, I think we need to move on, but please thank them very much. Thanks, guys. Good job. Okay. How are we going for edible cutlery? Abhinav. Let's make that bigger. Okay, you got your clicker. Hopefully we can throw some curveballs in here, like a dodgy microphone or a dodgy clicker or something. Okay, your time starts now.
So what's common between dinosaurs and plastic cutlery? They're both dead and gone. And what are we replacing them with? Bamboo and paper cutlery, that's not just bad for the environment, but they're bad for you because they're causing food toxicity, they're leaving microplastics in your food and beverage. It's like we replaced a velociraptor with a freaking T-Rex. If not these, then what? The future of cutlery is here, my friends, and boy, it's delicious. It's plant-based, it's nut-free, it can be composted if not eaten, and we have gluten-free options coming on the way. It also comes in a range of spoons, forks, straws, stirrers, and more. It has a shelf life of 12 months, and it can be garden composted really quick. It lasts 20 to 60 minutes depending on the temperature of your food or drink. It outperforms every other disposable cutlery in terms of carbon, energy, and water emissions during its production. We are between a massive two different markets, which is a 23 billion disposable cutlery and a 63 billion tableware. We're trying to create a category for ourselves. So who are we competing with in this big market? Good Eddie, who's our major competitor, but they are limited to edible cups. Use and Eat was our biggest competitor. You see what I did there? I use was because we bought them. We also sell through our e-commerce website, wholesale to distributors. We're also available on retail and food chains. We have prevented 220,000 cutlery till date in our 14-month journey. We are across major e-marketplaces and retailers. We have won a few government grants, including the one that we're going to Japan with TechOn. We'll be here next week for the +8 bootcamp as well. We also have a few customers onboarded who we are piloting with, whom you might recognize. We're also in the process of a crowdfunding campaign where each of you can invest as little as a few $100s, which is going to start in a couple of weeks. So your support will help us create a world where the only thing that gets left behind after a meal is a smile on your face. This is Abhinav signing off.
Nicely done. And I love a few puns. That's great. Okay, feedback, questions? Great.
So in terms of your crowdfunding campaign, so just as an everyday consumer, what are my benefits from going crowdfunding other than changing the world?
So it's an equity crowdfunding. So people are getting shares in a high growth company. We have 15 times our valuation in the last 14 months. So our investors have already seen massive returns, and our revenue is continually growing as well. Like our past 2 months revenue has been our lifetime revenue of the past 12 months. So we are in a high growing space. So of course shares plus depending on the investment, for bigger investments, we're also offering a space on our advisory board where they can mentor us steer our growth as well.
Nana. Sorry, come back to you guys.
Thanks. Probably a bit weird question. Maybe I'm missing it. But if is the key thing that it's actually edible, that at the end of your meal, so you have a nice meal, then you eat your spoon or your fork, and then the obvious question is, what does it taste like? What's the texture like? Is that something that ruins your meal, or is it more something that it's compostable and it'll be disappear in whatever, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the time frame is? Just trying to understand a bit better.
Yep.
Thanks.
So I had a couple of slides on this. I just had to find to the 3-minute mark, but comes in a range of flavors, sweet, savory, and unflavored. Doesn't interfere with your meal or drink unless you bite into it. That's most often the problem. Like one problem we're facing is people finish their cutlery and then they want another one. Sorry that we're too good. Other than that, yes, edibility is a USP, but on surveying, 7% of our users are not necessarily eating it. For them, it can be composted, or otherwise, it very easily disintegrates as well because it's just food.
So 93% of your
93% eat. Yeah.
At the end of the meal. All right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand. That's fine. Thanks.
All good. Cool. For me, I think you had the shortest time to do I get it? Because it's in the name, edible cutlery.
That's right.
That's great.
Hey, have you got any patents?
So we have an identity trademark as of now, and with our partner who are in the US, a sister company who have been in Shark Tank, we're exploring a product and patent together, which is pending right now.
And here comes the dodgy microphones. It always kicks in at some point in morning startup. All right. Right. Come down to that.
I'm curious, what's the pricing difference between using this one and like a normal one for someone who doesn't really care about the difference between buying what would make them change?
So that's a good question. The bamboo spoons, if I'm not wrong, are selling for about like 7 cents-ish. We are like for an individual customer, we are as high as 60 cents. But for some of our customers, we're half of that. So we're getting very close to the other disposable cutlery. Maybe with volume, we're going to be very, very close to that price.
I've just thought about eating everything. Do you have to put down the nutritional value and the compounds and all that on your cutlery as well?
Yep, as a food company, we'll have to do so. And we ensure to declare our allergen gluten right now. But as I said, we are soon launching gluten-free options.
I had a sneak peek at that last night. Do you do a low-carb option?
Not yet.
Just the last question. Do you also do straws? Because you mentioned paper straws in the beginning, and I think that's the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah. Like straws are our second best-selling items. Like we do have vanilla, unflavored, and chocolate straws.
Awesome. Thanks.
Fantastic.
Thanks
Any other feedback, questions? No? Well, good job.
Thank you.
Good on you. Have a nice. Cheers. Right. And anyone can buy it, right? It's not just restaurants and things like that. Who's going to get some edible cutlery now? I might. All right. Okay, next we have EnjoyYourMine. I'll give that to you and get this happening and make that bigger. I'll take that one. There's your clicker. All right, we have Hazel Duffy from EnjoyYourMine. Please make her welcome. And your time starts now.
Hey everyone, my name is Hazel Duffy and I'm the founder of EnjoyYourMine, where we aim to reinvent and uplift the current mining reputation to one of safety, connected communities, opportunities, purpose and enjoyment by dismantling the current problems that exist in the industry today, such as sexual harassment and bullying, mental health issues such as suicide. In fact, we lose a life to suicide every second day in the mining industry in Australia. Also relationship problems, not just with their intimate partners, but with their families and their friends. Pain and health issues. Mining is absolutely detrimental to your health. Incidents and accidents, such as fatalities, disconnection between male and female workers due to a fearful environment, and limited opportunities for personal development and growth expansion. How do we do this? EnjoyYourMine is a FIFO wellness platform that takes place both on-site and off-site. This is within a safe space for all workers to come together and be guided by our wide range of facilitators. This is a voluntary option for the miners to attend after work. Our customers are the mining companies directly, and we deal with HR and wellbeing champions as well as safety, and the individual miners are the ones who attend the workshops. We offer 3 packages to the mining companies, gold, silver and bronze, and they consist of many workshops, webinars and classes. We have a wide range of facilitators that represent each essential pillar of EnjoyYourMine, such as financial literacy education, wellbeing psychology that's special around relationships in the industry, as well as vitality. So we have pain specialists, physios, nutritionists, personal trainers and much more. We also have cultural engagement sessions dealing with First Nations people that specialise in traditional wellbeing methods of the lore, TEDx speakers, resilience project speakers and athletes. We have additional coaches such as alcohol coaches and sleep coaches and breathwork facilitators. About me, I have over 3 years experience in different sectors in mining, safety, operating machineries, geology and drill and blast. Also background in mentoring and mental health. I was a former teacher and admin. EnjoyYourMine was born after I sustained an injury as a blast crew operator over 2 years ago. The overview of market is massive, especially in WA, where we have 125 operating projects and 126,000 operational staff. We would like to expand interstate and then eventually globally. We have many benefits for EnjoyYourMine, including closer relationships, individual well-being, improved mental health, also reduced staff turnover, reduced incidents and accidents. We have some incredible testimonials from our workshops, our facilitators' workshops. EnjoyYourMine is searching for a COO and a CTO at the moment. And if you know anyone that might be interested in this particular area, you can reach out to me. My ask today is for any introductions to HR, wellbeing champions, safety advisors within the mining companies. And with that, a massive thank you.
Wow. Whew. Thanks, Hazel. Stay there. How much time was left on that, Gus?
8 seconds.
Whew, nice work. Good job. All right. Feedback, questions. Anyone? All right, while you're thinking. My little bit of feedback would, some of those slides just had too much text on them.
Okay.
Like there's no way we can read. Can you go back to the customer testimonials one, for example? Like, yeah. This is good, like it's going to show you, like we've got traction, people using it and things, but I'd probably just choose some choice words from all of those, or maybe the company logo, so we can, it's like, certainly out the back there, I couldn't read any of that, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other feedback? Come on. Ian, good on you.
What's the competition and why are you better than them?
Pardon?
What's the competition and why are you better than them?
Okay, yeah, so we do have quite a few competitors like Vitality Works or the individual providers that are essentially similar to our contractors. The competitors do their workshops mandatory, so during work hours. Ours is all voluntarily for the workers to attend after. So it's a traditional, or it's an alternative option other than the gym and the bar. And we also touch on pillars that none of our competitors have either within their systems or programs. Yeah.
How this is different from EAP, Employee Assistance Program, which are existing already in some organization?
Yeah, so the EAP system is usually one-to-one. It's not so much in a group, and if it is in a group, therefore that is also during work hours. Look, the idea initiated because I seen on site as a former miner that all of the individuals were having problems in these areas and they were suppressing their problems within the gym or in the bar, and they weren't dealing with them within a supportive environment. So I wanted to create that opportunity as a voluntarily option for them to attend outside of work hours.
This is a pretty mean question, so sorry, but I actually worked for a company that was doing something similar. It was providing a tool or a service that could be provided through an employee assistance program. I think about 3 months ago, a study came out that was big in the news, saying that almost all mental health and physical health programs provided to workplaces by companies that provide through EAPs are found to be useless. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with that study, but just how do you react to that general point?
Yeah, I actually read that as well, so I'm actually aware of that. And like I said, obviously when I saw that I thought, okay, but I strongly believe in this product. I also believe in every one of my facilitators that are on board. I've attended their workshops. We have feedback from their users. So I guess the proof is kind of there in how they further developed within their personal lives and their families' lives. So, yeah.
How are you incentivizing people to actually use this and like also get the message out to people who are in mine sites? And then also a second question, with the two comparisons you had with the gym and the bar, my understanding is the reason a lot of people go to those places is to get social contact and have a kind of like a community.
Yeah.
How does your app facilitate the generation of a community and the sense of being part of a community?
Yeah, so it's not an app when it's on site. On site is when the workers can come together. So they'll just be in a room like us today. It would be set out completely different. They'll be given a workshop around each pillar, and they'll be given resources to communicate with one another, building like healthy topic conversations. So yeah, they go to the bar and they'll be communicating with one another, but they're going to be learning how to deal with their individual problems in some of these pillars, particularly like if they're having relationship problems, they can go to a relationship workshop and be guided on how they can, you know, help improve their current relationships in a supportive environment of other minors who are also there for the exact same reason, and they can have like empathy building by opening up to one another about what they're going through, and also just building like better teams and a healthy working environment. Yeah, so the app and everything else, that's for the workers that are off-site and that they're going to miss out on any of the opportunities that are on-site. And then there's like further resources and development for them to keep accountable for what they're doing along the way. I hope that answered your question. Yeah.
While I get to Matt, why did you come up with, why do you need an app? So you're doing workshops at the moment, and I understand that if someone's not at a workshop, you need something, but could you distribute that through a live stream or like a different way? Like, do you need an app?
Yeah, it's more so for the live stream and also for like accountability as well. So you'll be able to, because often and not when we go to these workshops, we can get such insightful information and then we just don't do anything with it the next day. So this is just to help you stay accountable with your goals and everything else going forward.
And it's worth the cost of a high-paid CTO and all of that stuff?
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Thanks for your pitch. Question about some of the facilitators. You've got some interesting facilitators there, like sleep coach, alcohol coach. So what has been the best feedback so far on some of the sessions you're providing, and what are some future facilitators you're looking to add?
Yeah, so I think one of the best feedback that we've probably had was from one of our financial literacy educators, and how they were able to completely transform this individual's money mindset and improve his family's household and his relationships and everything else because of that one workshop and being able to work through the accountability of improving his life. And he wasn't he was someone in his late 30s to 40s, let's say. We've also had really good feedback from a pain specialist or a physio who says that her current clients here in Perth are a 50-60% of minors. So they're constantly in pain and they're dealing with a lot of mental health issues because they're in pain and they don't have an educational background in anything else other than, you know, mining or working physically. And she was able to guide them through pain management resources instead of just suppressing it with like purely medication. So that's definitely been a good feedback as well. Yeah.
Terrific. Any other questions? One more? 2 seconds.
Would you ever consider using like a chat, like an AI chat box sort of thing in the future?
An AI chat box? Yeah. On what? On the app or?
Yeah, as like a facilitator sort of thing.
Yeah, I would definitely like to implement AI down the road, but now I just want to focus on this primarily. But yeah, I definitely would like to use AI in the future. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Hazel. Cheers. Well done. Okay, so I think we are getting to the pointy end. So one more shout out for Joshua at Legacy. Is he in the room? Oh, cool. Awesome. You're a latecomer. Let me bring up your deck. Awesome. Okay, please make him welcome, Joshua at Legacy. You'll need a mic and a clicker, by the way. So there's your clicker, there's your mic. So it's just this button? Yeah, forward and back. And your time starts now.
Hi, I'm Joshua, and this is Legacy. It's a next generation digital cemetery. So the problem with one of those cemeteries is that it's inefficient because navigation towards the public monuments is inconvenient and time-consuming. Price costs around 2,000 to 4,000 at least to create a memorial. Sustainability in 200 years to 500 years, usually your average monument will be worn and torn and, excavated in time. Accessibility to funeral planning is quite labour intensive as well. So you would need like at least 14 steps in order to get a full funeral service planned out. So the solution is a virtual reality application where users can visit public and private memorials. So with public monuments, people are able to focus on celebrating life and not focus on the mourning of death. It's quite a positive outlook on society. And effortless delivery. With private legacies, people are able to deliver their loved ones in an event of a death with grace, with a seamless process. And the third point is they save money when they preserve a legacy. It's convenient and it cuts costs quite a lot. With a subscription model, it would be quite inexpensive. And this is my product that I'm working on at the moment with a couple of outsourced clients. That's the user interface. It's in virtual reality, and that's the mock-ups that we're working on, and that's immersive mock-up. So what you're able to do with it is you're able to explore by name the individual monuments. You're able to customize private legacies, and you're also able to experience the monuments in full virtual reality. And it is quite a new market, so there's a lot of room to expand the potential on it, because there is it's a market which is hasn't received innovation in. Like the last innovation in death care was biocremation, so it's quite a yeah.
Hold on to that. Hold on to the mic, and we'll have some feedback questions. All right, let's go.
Hi, I'm Kate. Nice to meet you. So I understand what you're trying to do, but I think as someone who's experienced a lot of loss in my life. I lost my brother, I think 13 years ago. For me to go on an app and look at that, I'd want to be physically, present there. That's part of healing. So have you, because this is a very psychological, and grief is quite a complex thing, have you done my question really is, what validation have you done with this product with people who are going through those stages of grief?
I guess this it focuses less on the emotional distress of the individual, but more sort of a preservation of the legacy and I like to say the preservation of their actual essence instead of the focus on the emotional distress of the mourning. I've personally validated that. I haven't actually found people that are. It's not. I haven't found the right customers, but I'm sure it works pretty well as a device for memories. Yeah,
I think
memorials.
The memory side of it's great.
Yeah.
So I think that side of it's amazing. I think the validation piece is essential to make sure that it's going to be a product that people are going to want to use.
Yep.
Obviously, it's very different for each individual when they've lost someone. So some people may love it, some people may not, which is completely fine. But I think the validation piece in that is essential, in my opinion.
Thanks for that.
Hey, I think I see a lot of value in this, especially as someone who's lived overseas for the last 11 years. And not being able to go home due to other issues. So potentially finding any way to kind of be there in a way for closure. I can see this as a great opportunity for people who live overseas. So great
Thanks.
pitch. Thanks.
Thanks for the pitch, Josh. I'm just curious about the conversations perhaps you've had with people. I mean, talking about death is not something that we do normally as people.
Yeah.
So how do you find those general conversations, you know, even if you've just spoken with family members or friends about this idea?
It is quite a taboo topic, and I guess there is a barrier to entry in terms of like the societal norms and stuff. So it is a challenge to do that, but once you get through, I guess, when you provide a solution to a product, I think it automatically appeals to people and attract customers that way.
Sorry about that, Mike.
Yeah.
So you're just going back to the validation piece. Maybe we can do a quick show of hands. Who would, assuming I'm getting the product right, who would strap on a headset and go to a memorial about someone they've lost? And okay, cool. And even if you've got access to go to that place physically, you'd still strap on a headset and do it? No? So that was a silly question. You would? Maybe? Okay.
Sorry, could you repeat that last one? I just want to gain
Let me make sure I'm understanding your product. So you strap on a headset, a VR headset, and you are immersed in a monument type where you've got a stone. Sorry, what's the word for it?
Yep. it's less a ceremonial, ritualistic process, but more a data preservation process. So what you're able to do is it's more social in the past tense. So you're able to view these epitaphs of everyone that's ever lived, and you know you're able to. And we're gonna expand into like personal. And like, you know, personal information. It's like a Wikipedia would be the closest competitor to this product.
Wikipedia is your closest competitor?
Yeah.
Anyone see that coming? All right. Another question over there. Cool.
So I just had two kind of concerns. So I was born overseas, so I do kind of see the appeal of having this kind of product in place. My concern is, how do you really capture the essence of someone who's passed on? Because I feel like that's a complicated one. The other one is, some people struggle with getting over the loss of a loved one. So if there's no process to move that forward, are people going to be stuck in a space where they're going to be in a consistent, like a perpetual state of mourning? That's my concern.
That is a great question, in the perpetual state of mourning. But over time, I guess there is sort of like a better, you know, efficiency to remembering someone. You know, it would be a lot more efficient to remember someone that's easily accessible. It'll just be like a curve, but like it'll be less dramatic compared to like the traditional like physical tombstones. But sorry, what's the first question again?
How do you capture the essence?
Yep. So I'd say like our private legacy side of the app, if you're able to create like a private legacy before the event of your death, like prior to anything, where you prepare, like it's like a prepaid funeral, but like with the app, and you just prepare for the event of your death and create these personal epitaphs and facts about your post memories about yourself, and when during the event of your death it will automatically launch, and people will capture your essence quite accurately in that sense.
Sorry, can I just ask you a question? What's the link between this and an actual funeral? Is it all virtual, or is it linked to an actual funeral?
There are online ceremonies for funerals, but this is more like a memorial product, a separate product for memorials.
Yeah.
So like it's quite separate from the ceremonial side of the things, because it's more dealing with memorials.
And can I ask you, have you been in touch with any funeral directors? Because they experience that families want an ongoing memorial, something that's lasting. So have you spoken to any of them?
Yes, the plan is to partner with funeral directors and funeral homes to create like a product that will appeal to the customers.
But have you spoken to any yet, or that's it?
No, we're just working on a minimum viable product at the moment. Yeah, so it's still like a...
You could probably show them this and see, get their feedback.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Don't have to wait until you've made the app for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Any one at the back.
I don't know, I guess sort of just a bit of adding an idea here. So when I think of like people passing, I would think of my great-granddad, who was like a famous fly fisher, and he had involvement with the Apollo missions. When it comes to sort of capturing the essence of someone, obviously like there's this scene that you can go view of a rock monument, like a cemetery-esque environment. But there's things like, for example, to be able to go out into a scene that was personalised, where I could go view sort of like an image of my granddad fly fishing, or something I could interact with, or maybe go view scenes from related to the Apollo missions that he was associated with. Like, I think that's probably where there is a bit of value in this.
There is like the idea to expand the range. The range of products to monuments, like actual sculptures and stuff. So you have to create like develop physical sculptures in like other than headstones. You can create. I guess you could say you could create further products in like that completely virtual, like actual individual apps for them. But it's still very far in the future. We're focusing right now on headstones.
Yeah, interesting idea. Keep it up, Josh.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, I think we have to move on. Thanks, Josh. Good job. Okay, and that brings us to the last one for the day. Who is lucky last? Vitold. Direct your way. Need a jingle for that. Direct your way.
We'll get to the advertising.
Okay, so that's your clicker.
Thank you.
That's your mic. It's turned on. I'll turn this off. And your time starts now.
Cool. Wonderful. All right. Good morning, startups. I was genuinely going to spend the next 2 minutes of your time just completely wasting it, because that's what the average Australian already does. How much time do you spend just looking for parking? The average Australian is 14 hours per year. Now, we're wondering... Clicker? There it is. The notorious not working clicker, unless... Yeah, okay, I just can't use buttons, that's fine. Every single person already uses a myriad of different apps, but why do they still feel lost? Well, because that's the current solution to the parking problem. You go on there, you're just hit with this decision paralysis, overwhelming, and that's not the first thing I want to see in the morning right before an important meeting. Now, sure, if I have a bit of spare time, I'm living in Perth, it's cruisy, it's fine, but the rest of the world doesn't have that luxury. So we were thinking, what if we go back to the drawing board? What if we really assess our values and see how we can make this process more efficient? Now, I have a technical background, so for me, jumping into the solution was a no-brainer. In terms of being at a pre-revenue stage, just starting off with the idea, we're kind of going back and thinking, before we even start building a solution, we want to continue validating the problem. So the everyday person would be going into the city, spending a lot of time looking for parking. People are complaining that before 8 a.m., they can get a spot. But as soon as you're after that, it is complete hell, even if you can get past the issue of traffic. We're not quite there yet. Even a barista is happy to pay $15 to pay for parking. They don't mind that, because they got to have the convenience of being 100 meters directly from their work. So it's not the pricing that's the issue, it's the issue of time and convenience. What if you could have a solution of going directly to a parking bay? Now, I love jumping into an AI solution and just thinking, I can know, or I can have a scaling solution that has direct bay availability. So I'm not just going lot to lot, parking space to parking space, analyzing how I'm going to find a spot. Because that's what an automatic vehicle does. It drives around looking from spot to spot, from lane to lane, from parking lot to parking lot. It seems a bit primitive, don't you think? Automatic driving? In a clustered day, this is the last thing I want to think about. Right before I'm going into a meeting, or even some people are doing this on their drive. That's kind of one of the things we want to address. Over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be participating in the June Sprint program. So we're actually going to be going back to our validation, make sure we know where our customers' needs are before we even start solution. Because if we can't generate a demand for this product, we're not even interested in building it. Thank you so much.
Good job. How much time was on that, Gus?
2:30.
Hey, 30 seconds, sweet. All right. Questions, feedback? Walk back up here.
Love the idea. I want it. How do you figure out where the parking spots are available? If you've got a massive network of parking that's not just above ground, it's also below, how do you know where the free parking spots are?
I love the question. I can't answer it on record. So the way that we want to scale this is, at this point, proprietary. All of our co-founders are happy to do open source work, but in the nature of business, we kind of want to keep that a little bit private for now. We generated a solution to automatically train the model. But as I said, we don't want to build anything before we've actually validated it completely. I mean, I love the insight, the first thing you said, and it really hits pain points. Because one of the things I didn't mention in my presentation is parking doesn't just make you angry, does it? It goes a little bit deeper than that, because every single time I ask somebody for their parking horror story, they always have a story. It gets to the bone. So I can't answer the question at the moment, but we do have ideas.
Right, cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Ian.
How will you determine, like, what will be your metric? How will you find out that this is a really significant medical problem rather than like a painkiller kind of thing?
So in terms of validation, or once the solution actually hits?
How will you decide, what do you need to see for you to actually keep working on this and build this?
In terms of validation, okay, cool.
Yeah, validation.
When we're actually speaking to people, we want to hear the problem. So in terms of a painkiller versus an actual solution, we can't build more parking lots. So we want to see, well, CPP, absolute credit to the City of Perth Parking, because they're actually taking a valid approach in terms of dealing with this kind of solution. So shopping malls at the moment already have availability and green lights pointing you directly where you want to go. But it's very hard to scale a hardware solution. So we're thinking, what if we can have an automatic system in terms of software that we can scale as a SaaS product and have it as a navigator to not take away from something that we use every single day and just plug and play directly into people's lives. What I want to hear from people is just more of their problems.
So number of people with the problem would be a metric?
Essentially, yes. So
if you get above 50 or 100 or 1,000? Like
we already have 50 validation, but we don't think it's the right person. So we've been speaking to a lot of students, nitpickers here and there, so like legal consultants, people like that. We really want to hone in on a target market, which would be someone in the consulting theme or the freelance, somebody who's not working remote, but somebody who's going day to day, even parking multiple times a day. That would be our ideal customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I came across a company that's looking for investors at the moment, and they're called Kerb, K-E-R-B.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of them, but
not of Kerb.
Okay. They're doing. They basically have located parking. You know, they basically they're an app where you actually find parking spots in your area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's geolocation that find, and they're raising funds at the moment. But just like let you know that there's something out there at the moment,
Good.
and it's worth checking it out.
I mean, I love the problem exists, but they're still in their stage
you can have a point
funding.
of difference. Absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Competition is
really
not
good.
bad. It's validation of the market.
These are the kind of people I want to speak to. So there's a startup called Modi from San Fran. They have like a B2B solution to this kind of problem. In terms of the people dealing in Perth, that's the kind of target market we're going to be going at. We do have a little bit of a sparse solution. So in terms of Sydney, that's complete mayhem. Melbourne have a free parking solution, so that's not going to be that much of an issue for them. But it's worth looking into the startups right now. But we're still in the early stage, so we need to get to all the competitors out there. Yeah.
Hey Ian, you've lived in a city of the future with self-driving cars and all that stuff. Do you think this is a problem that will exist in the future? Put you on the spot.
Yeah. Well, San Francisco both has like 30% self-driving cars now and the worst fucking parking situation I've ever encountered in my life. So I think so. but I'm really curious personally about how do you validate that someone's actually going to pay for this? Because until I see someone actually pay for this, it's really hard to believe, because parking is one of those problems. It's like, it's really painful, but you already hate paying anything to help with that problem. So, yeah.
I really need to work on my speech, because one of the things I've completely forgotten to mention is every single person that we validated with, we ask one very simple question. Would you rather spend the time it takes to look for parking or pay 50 cents to Google Maps to find you a spot right now? Because in a pinch, they go straight for the solution. So we're thinking of a convenience on-demand model where you have to pay like a token to actually get the solution right now, but that caps out a subscription model. So we don't want to charge more than... This is where it gets complicated, because if it's a city like Perth, I only want to charge like $7.50, so to have a really small subscription cap. But if it's somewhere like Sydney, whereas people are going to be using it every single day, then and it's going to be a lot harder to get the data. We could stick to a simple basis in terms of averages, have a $15 cap. That's going to be the monthly subscription fee for a contiguous user, but somebody who's only in the city for maybe 2 times a week tops, they're going to still have that convenience on demand.
Thanks for your pitch. I've seen it before, as you know. But I guess one thing that maybe I'm curious about, so say you find a parking spot and you're headed there and then someone takes it before you get there. Is there a way to reserve that spot before you arrive, or...?
I would love to have a drone that just flies out and just hovers there until you actually get a spot. But that's an idea that would be really good for like an advertisement. In practice, we want to provide the best available information to a person as quickly as possible. So in terms of a seamless solution, so that's the current state we have to deal with. But what if you had literally just a map to navigate you directly to a particular parking spot? If somebody takes your spot, what if we just find you a better one? Because how many times have you been in the situation where you're in a parking lot, you're just driving around bay to bay, lane to lane, just looking for a particular spot, but the entire time there's been one right here? So it's like, what if I can just hook into the Big Brother network, look at a spot, and just get directed to right there? We also have access to data in terms of how many people enter a lot. It's going to be a little bit harder for open lots, but in terms of the product, we're still considering those features. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, Mark. Any other questions? Feedback? Other? Want to get stuck into the food?
Hell yeah.
All right. Stretch your legs.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Vitold. Cheers. Well done. Excellent. And thank you to everyone that pitched today and everyone that came along and just to watch them and ask questions. We spent a bit longer than we usually do on feedback and questions today, but I think that's the most valuable bit. So hopefully you all got something out of that and can work on the next stage of your startup and your pitch, and before it really matters, you're pitching to investors or whatever it might be. Cool. So just a reminder, we're back here in 2 weeks' time. We've got the Innovator of the Year launch. Hope to see you there. Hopefully you can get in. And Founder Sundowner next month. But we're going to throw furniture at you. Please help yourself to food and get to know each other. Cheers.